After a failed attempt at a constitutional convention, state representatives and senators met today to discuss possible changes to tax options for the state. News 2's David Hamilton here with details on their plans.
Sylvia, the Louisiana Department of Revenue presented the tax reform, which they believe could ultimately benefit Louisiana. But for it to take action, it would need a constitutional bypass.
This is something that we're staring down the barrel of. We have to come up with some kind of solution on what it is. And one of the things my dad always tells me is, the only thing worse than bad news is bad news late, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
The tax reform proposal includes a number of changes to Louisiana's current tax policy, from eliminating over 100 tax exemptions to reducing individual income tax rates. That, along with several other reforms, they say would put Louisiana on a better path forward.
So we're trying to balance it out. We're taking a comprehensive approach. So we're looking at income taxes and sales taxes, corporate taxes as well. And what we're trying to do is looking at getting rid of exemptions that are basically writing things off and taking out of the tax base, exemptions, credits, incentives, and trying to dial some of those back in order to lower rates across the board.
Department of Revenue Secretary Richard Nelson, who was a part of the pitching process, says it will allow Louisiana to be competitive with other states, where in recent years it hasn't.
I'm looking at how can we actually set up Louisiana to be competitive in the future, as far as how do we attract businesses here, how do we bring jobs here, how do we keep our citizens in Louisiana and let them succeed. And so that's some of the bigger changes and the bigger reforms we're looking at doing.
Any reform would have to be approved by voters before it can take effect. Live in the newsroom, David Hamilton at WBRZ News 2.